Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to peel back the drywall and dig under the floorboards to explore this hidden world that, well, quietly runs our lives, our home's plumbing. It's a system we totally ignore, right up until it goes wrong. But what if I told you that system has a fascinating story to tell? A story written in dirt, ice, and even history. Okay, let's dive into this.
I know. It seems like a kind of strange question, right? But the answer connects your daily routine to geology, to climate, to history, in ways you've probably never even thought about. It's a connection that really explains why your home behaves the way it does. So, to really understand this connection, we're going to take a little trip to West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Just think of this town as our personal laboratory. Its specific geography and its history make it the absolute perfect place to see how the world outside your door directly messes with the pipes hidden inside your walls. So, let's kick things off with a simple but honestly a pretty powerful idea. Every single home has a secret story. And this story isn't about the people who live there. Nope, it's about the ground it's built on, the weather it has to put up with, and the materials that are hidden deep in its walls.
That's exactly right. Think about it. The age of your house, the local weather patterns, the type of dirt in your yard. All of these things are in a constant conversation with your plumbing, creating a completely unique set of challenges and quirks just for your home. Now let's see how this all comes together. Because in a place like West Mifflin, all these environmental factors combine to create what you could basically call a plumbing battlefield. And on this battlefield, your pipes are under constant assault from freezing temperatures, shifting soil, and some seriously corrosive water. The first major enemy on this battlefield is the freeze-thaw cycle. You see, Pennsylvania's dramatic temperature swings mean that water inside pipes is constantly freezing, expanding with incredible force, and then thawing out again. This process just punishes pipes, creating these tiny little cracks that can eventually lead to a catastrophic burst. And then there's the ground itself. That's another major player. West Mifflin has this clay-heavy soil, which pretty much acts like a giant sponge. It swells up when it's wet and then shrinks when it's dry. Just try to imagine the ground beneath your house constantly shifting. It puts this immense stress on water and sewer lines, literally bending and breaking them over time. And it doesn't stop there. Oh no. You've got a mix of older post-war homes with aging plumbing sitting right next to modern construction. Then you add in corrosive old galvanized pipes, mineral-rich hard water that just clogs everything up, and high water tables near the local creeks, and what you get is a perfect storm of plumbing problems. So what happens when you combine that harsh environment with the pipes inside your home? Well, you get a few very common and honestly very predictable problems. Let's take a look at the 4 biggest culprits. First up, frozen and burst pipes. The physics here are just brutally simple. The second the temperature drops below freezing, the water inside a pipe expands. And listen, this isn't a gentle process. We're talking enough force to actually split metal. The real damage, of course, happens when everything thaws and that water starts flooding your basement. The second culprit is like a ghost of infrastructure past. So many homes built before the 1970s used galvanized steel pipes. Now, all these decades later, they are corroding from the inside out. This is exactly why some older homes have that mysteriously low water pressure or that brownish, rusty water coming out of the taps. The pipe is literally closing in on itself. Third, we have the tragic and very accelerated life of a water heater. In areas with hard water, like West Mifflin, mineral deposits start building up almost right away. This sediment forces the heater to work harder and harder, which leads to higher energy bills and, eventually, it just fails. A very costly surprise for any homeowner. And finally, we've got the silent invader, tree roots. Roots are naturally drawn to the water and nutrients inside your sewer line. So they find one tiny crack, they work their way in, and then they expand, blocking everything. The signs are often subtle at first, a gurgling toilet or a slow drain, until one day, bam, you've got a major backup on your hands. Okay, I know, that's a lot of potential problems, but tackling them doesn't have to be totally chaotic. In fact, the professionals who really understand these local conditions, they rely on a very clear, very methodical plan. It really just breaks down into 3 simple stages. It all starts with a call to schedule the service. Then comes the most important part, the diagnosis and, of course, your approval. And finally, the actual repair and getting the job done. It's a process that's designed to be totally transparent and just remove any surprises. So that second step, diagnosis, is absolutely crucial. You just can't guess. This is where expertise and technology make all the difference. Using tools like cameras that can actually go inside your pipes or electronic leak detectors, a real pro can pinpoint the exact cause of the issue, which saves you from unnecessary and really expensive repairs.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. We've used this one town as our example, but the lessons here apply to every single homeowner. And I mean it, no matter where you live. And this brings us to the most important takeaway of all. Local knowledge is everything. A plumber who understands your area's specific soil, your water, your weather, they can spot warning signs that a generalist might totally miss. This isn't just about fixing problems, it's about preventing them before they happen. It's about saving you from the stress and expense of a major flood.
At the end of the day, the story of West Mifflin's plumbing is a universal one. Your home is in a constant dialogue with its environment. Understanding that dialogue, knowing about your soil, your water quality, the age of your pipes, that is the single most powerful thing you can do to protect your investment.
So that leaves us with one final question to think about. If you listen closely to the sound of your drains, the pressure in your faucet, the age of your systems, what is your home's unique story trying to tell you?